What's up, guys? We're here in Modesto. Sharon is with a lot of the sisters at the church.
Having a party.
Yeah. So they surprised her because it's her birthday on Tuesday. Today's Saturday. I'm not sure what day I'm putting this out. Maybe I'll do it today. I don't know. I got brother Danny here. So he drove his wife down, but you guys came from Fresno or Madera, right?
Madera.
So he's just like, because there's no guys invited, So he's like, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "I don't know. I'm gonna go eat or something." So he's like, "Well, I'll hang out with you." So we've been just hanging out. Brought your stepson to the park. He likes to play over there.
Yeah.
So we figured. I said, "Man, I got the tripod in the back.
Might as well make a video.
Yeah, might as well make a video, So to make it interesting, guys, let's see. I do know that brother Danny, you did 6 years.
Yeah.
6 and some change, right?
6 and some change.
Yeah. So how did you know about House of Rest in the beginning?
In the beginning, I saw your 21 and whatever.
Oh, the 23 and 1?
The 23 and
That's
1.
the first time you saw?
That's the first thing I saw of your 180.
Oh, yeah, because you knew about the music in the past.
But then I seen Sir Dyno, then as Pastor David Rocha, that's what caught my attention. Like, and then I watched.
You tripped out?
I tripped out. I really tripped out. I never thought I would see that.
Wow. So did that lead you to this channel?
Yeah, I started digging a little bit more, trying to see. Then I heard your Call to Reach the Masses, and then I seen your channel.
Oh, you heard that album?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. What a trip. I never know. Like, guys, I don't know a lot. Most of you probably know, but I did do a Christian CD in 2013 called Dyno, Call to Reach the Masses. Some people ask me, like, why would you use that Dyno name? It's obvious reasons, right? Because a lot of times we use our past as bait.
Yeah, to fish.
Yeah, and I kind of make a decision. Because I said, if I call this album David Rocha, nobody knows who David Rocha is, especially back then. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna strategically call this album Dyno. So the people searching for Dyno music, the Christian CD pops up. I did that on purpose, And so you heard that album after you saw me on 23 and 1.
Mm-hmm. And then I saw your channel, and then went to the church.
How long did it take for you to come to the church after all that? After the 23 and 1?
It took maybe about a few months, at least 5 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because when I actually went to the church, I even sat outside in front of the church for a little bit. Not even one.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Man, that's a trip. How long you been with this now?
Over 2 years now.
Over 2 years? Wow. So, obviously before pandemic. So what, like a year before that?
Mm-hmm.
Man, but you're not but you live in Fresno, but you grew up in the Bay Area, right? I remember that place you took me to, that Mexico.
Oh yeah, Guerrero's Taqueria.
Yeah, that was good. Where's that at?
That's in Pacifica.
Pacifica, yeah.
I didn't even take it to my favorite one.
Oh, that wasn't your favorite?
No, my favorite one's actually South City, and then the one on Mission, 24th and Mission.
Which one?
It's right there, smack dab on 24th.
On 24th? I thought there was McDonald's there.
No, there is a McDonald's there too, but then it's a little bit more down the way. It's between 24th and 26th.
Oh, it's on Mission though.
Mm-hmm, it's on Mission.
Okay, because the one I was out there with a Cholo trucker a week and a half ago, and he wanted to eat on 24th and Mission.
Yeah.
But we found this little hole in the wall taqueria. It's on 24th, close to the Mission, maybe 1 block.
Up towards Shotwell?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know the streets, but it was just a little taqueria, and it was pretty good, man. I think it was early, so I got a chorizo and egg breakfast burrito.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But man, the art there blew me away. All the murals and the colors, like the whole street. And you look down every alley, and they're just full of. I'm not talking graffiti. I'm talking art.
Real art.
Pieces of straight up art, man. That would if it was on canvas, it would sell. You know, and I'm just blown away. As you guys know, I like painting, man. So I'm just like impressed. Like whole buildings, the whole thing.
I'm glad they still actually left it out there.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of what's that word called? Where a lot of people come, gentrification. Have you heard of that?
No.
Gentrification is like, I don't know the exact, but basically it gets gentrified. People, more middle class people, they want to go and be a part of that community, and then they end up pushing the people out that are there.
Okay.
People that all of a sudden people from that barrio can't afford to even live there. So even though the streets, the murals, they represent our culture, but our culture can't even afford to live there anymore. You know, and that's happening all over. It's happening in Oakland, happening right there in the Mission. You know, so it's a trip, man. But so you did 6 years. Did you serve God during those 6 years? Or not at first? Or
Not at first.
yeah.
At first, I was still trying to be prideful, I guess, and boastful.
When did you get saved?
Honestly, I was saved a long time ago.
Yeah.
I just wasn't serving.
Okay, but let's rephrase that. When did you become finally obedient to his voice? In prison or
In
when
prison,
you got
yeah.
out?
I was in prison.
Wow. And
I was still in Soledad on my way to out of state.
they sent you out of state?
Yeah.
I remember that a few years ago. They were sending people that were, because I only did federal time, but the prisons in California were so full, they were paying other prisons out of state. Is that so? You were part of? What state did you go to?
I went to 2 states. I went to Arizona and Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah.
How long were you in Michigan?
Just 3 months. We were only out there for 3 months.
So well, that doesn't even make sense. It probably cost them more to take you down there than why'd they do that?
They didn't pay the prison. California didn't pay the prison, so they kicked us out and sent us back.
Wow. So we're a funny state over here, man. So were you intermingled with those inmates from that state?
No, at that one prison, we were supposed to open it up and it's supposed to be only California inmates. But in Arizona, yeah, we weren't intermingled, but we were in the same prison.
But you didn't share the yard. You didn't share the same. Was it pods or was it dorms? I mean, was it cells?
It was cells with a day room.
Yeah, like a county jail.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't share it with Arizona inmates?
No, we would use the same yards, but at different times.
Yeah. Did they do that on purpose? That way there wouldn't be issues.
I would think so, because I think
because then they'd be liable for something like that, huh? I remember in the feds, man. A lot of guys would get sent out of state, you know. And do you see him?
Yeah, he's okay.
Okay. We faced this way so we could see him at the playground because he wanted to run over there and start messing around with the swings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I remember in the feds, man, if you were from Cali, it didn't matter what skin color you were, nothing. If you went to Texas, if you went to certain states, man, it was on site. You were green lighted just for being from Cali.
Yeah.
You know, that's a trip. I never got shipped out of state. So even though I was in feds, I stayed within California. The first year and a half I was in Sac County because it's a federal holding. Then I went to Santa Rita for another year in solitary, and then I went on Conair to Terminal Island, which is in California. And then I finished my last 2 years in Atwater, which is 45 minutes down the road from here. So I never left the state, but man, I used to hear so many stories from people in the feds, and just drama. They really had to watch their back. Just even the Cristianos, man, everybody. They didn't like people from California.
Yeah, California's hated outside of California.
Yeah, it's a trip. Is that spider gonna get in that bag?
Yeah.
Hold on. You saw it?
Mm-hmm.
So you were by the time you were serving God in jail, what was that like for you? Was that because it matters where you go. Because a lot of people think that people run to the Bible in jail, but honestly, it depends what facility you're in. It's actually more dangerous.
It is more.
So, how was the facility where you were at when you were serving God? Was it safe for Christians or unsafe?
Honestly, after in Arizona,
Yeah.
it was safe because we had the ones that we were there, like, we really lived the life. We didn't we didn't come out ourselves to go gamble and do do all that. So they, like, honestly, when people see something real, they honestly respect it.
Yeah. I came across the same thing, when even the dudes that are not serving God, man, if they see here's the thing, man, incarcerated and just being in the street, you learn to see right through people. And in there, you could see right through the people that were playing church.
Yeah.
And, me as a Christian, I knew when people were faking it, but what am I going to do? What am I going to say? Go to their group and be like, hey, man, this guy, I didn't say nothing, but a lot of times their own people would realize that this guy was playing, and then it was dangerous for that person. Is that how it was where you were at?
No, not where I was at.
Okay. So it wasn't that bad.
No, because we had our brothers that we changed our lives.
Yeah.
And then there was a bunch of groups outside of us, but for some reason they would always just give us our respect.
Was there different Christian? I know nobody ever talks about this. Was there different Christian groups where you were at, or it was just all?
Oh yeah, there
was
a lot of there was different denominations.
Right?
Yeah.
Did they start acting like gangs sometimes?
Yeah, they would.
Yeah.
Especially like the some of the older, like what they could be considered the elders in the chapel that have been there longer.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's their church.
Yeah. I came across that too, man. It was a trip because I had no idea. You got to remember, I gave my life to the Lord in county, and then I'm in solitary, and then finally, what's good about that, brother, is that there's a wall, and that's a dead end.
Oh, okay. I don't know that was a dead end.
Yeah, so there's no street.
Okay.
So if anybody even tries to approach kids, it'll come here or from that basketball court.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's nowhere to go. There's a wall. Anyways, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying.
About the different denominations.
Yeah, I had no idea, so I give my life to the Lord, and then I'm in solitary. So then I finally hit the yard in Terminal Island. I meet some brothers in my unit, and then I start to realize there's different groups of Christian brothers, and I'm like, what's this about? I mean, I get it. You can't have 50 Christians walking the yard. That'll look crazy.
Yeah.
That'll look like a big gang, But for the most part, everybody just had their groups, only more or less like just little study groups. But everyone was friendly with everyone else. But there was this one group, their leader, man, he was like super religious, like big time. And it's like his interpretation of the Bible was right, and that was it. No ands, ifs, or buts, and that's it. And I didn't want to butt heads with that dude because I don't like what's it called, debating, debates and arguing back and forth. And I would always say hi to him, man, but it was, sometimes he'd say hi back, sometimes he didn't. But he just thought he was just super settled, super Christian, but for the most part, all the different Christian groups, there was probably like 5. All of them would go to chapel on Sunday, and we would all have service together. So it was cool, it wasn't that bad, and most people would think that it would be unsafe for me because me being Sir Dyno and then being in Long Beach, where Terminal Island is, there was about 200 active Southsiders there in the yard. But, to be honest with you, all of them treated me with respect. They saw me preaching in the yard. They knew who I was. They knew I was from up north. They knew I was Sir Dyno. But they respected it because you walked it out.
Yeah, see that realness, something that's different than when you just say it.
So, did you do cell living your whole 6 years, or did you finally get down to living in a dorm?
I finally got down to living in a dorm.
What do you prefer, a cell or dorm?
So,
Right? Now, I don't like lockdown. You know, I don't like solitary. But yeah, I mean, when you have a cell, at least you feel like you have a room.
yeah, it's your own toilet, your own, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I mean, even if you have a celly, I mean,
Yeah.
it's your own thing. Well, you know what's cool about it? If you're locked down with somebody and you get day room time, I mean, if you gotta use a bathroom and stuff, you just tell your celly and he'll leave and he'll go watch TV or whatever, or back and forth, you know. But man, that dorm living, it was okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was all right, but
the freedom's okay.
yeah, but I would prefer
So,
a cell. And
it's a trip to even say that now.
I know, right? And the people that have never been locked up probably are tripping on that, but it's the truth. Think about it, right? You got to sleep, let's say 6, 7, 8 hours a night. Do you really want to sleep 6, 7, 8 hours a night with 100 people having access to you and your sleep? You know, in a cell, hopefully you trust your celly, and once that door locks,
That's the only one you have to worry about.
that's the only one you have to worry about instead of worrying about 100 other people. You know, because here's the thing, you might not make enemies, but somebody might have, there's some, you never know, blacks or whites or whatever, and they want to take it out on you because you're the closest one. You know, so that's one thing for me. You know, to this day, I don't, like, you know how in there, you do not go in the yard with shower shoes or slippers or nothing.
Nothing.
To this day, I don't do that. I don't go to the store. I don't put, you know, the what do they call the slider?
Yeah,
No, I can't do it. My brother Angel does it all the time. He goes anywhere. He'll go to a wedding with his chanclas on. I can't do it.
I can't either still.
Really?
Yeah, I can't. When I go to the store, even if it's just to the gas station down the street, and then on my chanclas, I put my shoes on.
Yeah. You know, and guys, it's because if somebody attacks you in prison, you do not want to have shower shoes on or something. You're not gonna have no grip.
You need some traction.
Yeah, you need track. You're gonna get. It's gonna be really hard, and you're not gonna have a fighting chance. And it's just a habit, you know. And it's funny because Sharon, to this day, she laughs at me, man, because sometimes I need to go to the car or something, and I have slippers, and I go, oh, let me throw my shoes on. She's like, "What? You're just going to the sidewalk, so you never know what could happen." You know, a lot of little habits. So, did you guys make spread?
Yeah. We would make spreads. We would fill this whole table up with nachos and everything. We would eat. We would eat good.
What's what protein did you guys use in there?
Little sausages, pretty much. Sausages, tuna pouches, chicken, or any meat from the kitchen.
What kind of chicken?
We would get little from the kitchen. We would get the little whole
From the kitchen, right? We don't know where it came from. From the kitchen. Yeah, it's funny because Paul says if somebody offers you food, don't ask where it came from. Guys, again, this is why we laugh, because if it's from the kitchen, that means somebody stole it from the kitchen, somebody snuck it back, or even not stolen. Like where we were at, you weren't allowed to bring your food to the unit. So let's say it wasn't stolen, and you're sitting with 6 brothers, and it's fried chicken night. You couldn't say, like, you know what, nobody eat your chicken, let's throw it in the spread, because you can't take the food out of the chow hall. Probably because they want to prevent bugs and rats and stuff, you know. I'm guessing that's why, because can you imagine food all over? But chicken made it to the unit no matter what, regardless. So what kind of sausage do they have? The bigger ones, or the like the Slim Jim types?
They had the bigger, like the shorter, thicker ones, and the long Slim Jim type.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I kind of wish I still had one of my catalogs.
I don't know why I didn't save my commissary slips, just for the heck of it, you know. Did what was your? Here's a good question. What was your hustle in there? Everybody had to do something to get commissary.
Or I turned my hot pot into a hot plate and started making grilled cheese sandwiches
For people?
for people too, for $1.
Really? Well, how would they pay you?
Other in soups. Soups, you know, soups is the main currency in there.
Yeah. In Feds, the main currency was stamps
Or stamps.
or tuna pouches.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Stamps never lost its value.
Yeah.
Because you could go from one place to another, and the soups would be different prices.
Yeah. Yeah. So over there, they'd be like, hey, I want to get a haircut. They will tell you the price in stamps or the price in tuna. Once in a while, you know, you have somebody they'll be like, well, I want pork rinds or I want Doritos. But for the most part, the reason tuna was a big thing because our yard had a weight pile.
Oh, so just the protein.
Yeah, so everybody was gobbling up protein like crazy, man. That's everybody wanted tunas and tunas. They had tuna and mackerel for protein, you know, and people were just like, they get a fork and just throw
Out the pouch.
Yeah, throw some little bit of mayonnaise in there. We had mayonnaise and commissary, a little bit of salt. They'd mix it around with the fork and just eat it right out the pouch, and then go hit the weights. You know, and we were all doing that actually. That was a lot of fun actually. It was cool having a weight pile. You know, it helped kind of stay fit. You know.
Out of state, it wasn't a weight pile, but we had weights.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, like, what do you mean not?
You know how the machines with the...
Oh, the machines, yeah. No, we had weights. I guess the old federal prisons had weights, and they were no longer going to supply weights for the federal prisons. But the rule is, if a prison already had them,
They're grandfathered in.
they're grandfathered in unless they break. And if they break, that's
No
it.
replacement.
So guys were really careful, because if somebody would throw weights down, you'd get in trouble by the other inmates. They'd be like, hey, man, what are you doing? You know, put that thing down. You know, we all this is for all of us. And if you break it, then it doesn't come back. So you didn't want to do these deadlifts and drop the weight, or then you'd end up getting deadlifted. Man, so do you think prison changed you?
Yeah, I think it did.
Like, in what way?
For the better. Honestly, I believe it changed my life. Because if I would have gotten away with that crime at that time with how my mentality was, I either would have been doing life or would have died if he didn't just sit me down and...
So, I mean, you don't have to say what you went in for, but it was a violent charge, because in state, if violence, you do 85%, right? Mm-hmm. So you did 85%. Because isn't it like a regular charge, like, was it 60 or 65 or 50-50?
Yeah, I think they even dropped it down to almost like 35 at one point because of the overcrowding.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Wow. That's like a slap in the wrist, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, out of the people that you fellowship with in there, I mean, do you still talk to any of them, or?
I wish I did. There's a couple of brothers still to this day come to my heart all the time.
Are they out?
Well, some of them are out. One is about to get out.
Where's he at? Do you know?
I don't know where he's at because I left him out of state when I left.
Oh, okay. You just knew that his release date was soon.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Was that the first and last time you were ever incarcerated?
Yeah. I've done a bunch of county time.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day. Man.
In Fresno or in San Francisco? Oh, really? What's the jail over there? What's
850 Bryant.
Is that the jail?
Yeah.
I've driven by there.
The big old gray building?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the jail.
That's the jail.
That's it?
That's it.
I would think San Francisco would be
Oh, but they have a second jail that's in San Bruno.
Okay. Does it go underground?
When you go to the courthouse, yeah, it goes underground. You walk underneath the street.
Really?
The inmates.
Huh. Okay. I know exactly where that is. Is that why? Is it called 8?
It's on Bryant Street. That's the actual address, 850 Bryant.
Is that why people say, "Oh man, I did time at 850"? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh man, you know who I used to hear say that? Mr. Key.
Oh yeah.
From Darkroom.
Yeah.
He used to be in Darkroom, you know, before he did his own, you know, thing or whatnot. Oh, what a trip. Yeah, I didn't know that. Huh. So you served God in there. What would you guys do? Like, what was an everyday thing once you became a Christian? And I'm guessing you had a group of brothers you fellowship with. What was an everyday like from morning all the way to the evening?
The best thing was just we would come out. All of us would have our coffee already ready. We have our Bibles. We'll go out, say hi. It wouldn't even feel like we were in prison, honestly, because we were all just come out super cheerful and to have our first study.
Like this, right?
Yeah.
This sitting here reminds me actually of of Terminal Island. So then what? What would you guys do?
We'll have our study. We would all eat. Normally, every meal we would always eat together: breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, in the chow hall, you mean?
Sometimes we didn't even go because didn't honestly we didn't need to, and a lot of the food that we had in our cell was better than the chow hall. Because the state food is different than.
I heard it's not all that.
No, just the holiday meals. Some depending where you're at are pretty cool.
Yeah. So, did you guys have jobs?
Yeah, we have jobs.
Like full 8-hour jobs or just little jobs?
Depends on what it was. If you're just like a pod worker, it's just whenever everybody's locked down, you clean up the pod, or if you go out to the
so you're talking about the pod.
Yeah, but there's different. There was laundries, there was kitchen workers, there was people working with the sheriffs, like open. I guess.
But what about the yard?
Yeah, there was yard workers too that tend to the yard.
Did you guys get yard every day?
Out of state, for the most part, we did. In California, they had like rolling blackouts, where a lot of the yards were locked down.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they would call it, rolling blackout.
You know, we had yard every day. I mean, unless something crazy happened, we would have yard from. Wow, I want to say after breakfast. After breakfast, you had to go back to the unit for count. You want to make sure nobody escaped. And once they did that, they would release you maybe 9 o'clock all the way till, I want to say 9 at night. 12 hours yard.
That's cool.
Yeah. Maybe 8. I want to say 8 or 9 o'clock. We were out in the yard all day. Now, don't get me wrong, like before dinner, we all had to go back to our units.
You count?
And do a count again. We go to dinner, and then you can go to the yard. So, I mean, other than that break for dinner, and lunch, we were in the yard all day long.
Yeah.
You know, so
it wasn't like that in Soledad. Depending on what cell you were in, you rather have yard during the day or yard in the evening. It wasn't all day like that.
And I'm talking, the whole prison was in the yard. Everybody.
See, there was just building by building.
Yeah, no, the whole. I mean, it felt. Sometimes it felt like you were not in prison, because Terminal Island. You got to understand, man, you're looking and you're seeing big boats and ships, and you see the ocean, you know, and you smell the ocean air. Yeah, there's barbed wire and you know, the barbed wire, there's gun towers, but, you know, for the most part, there's a chapel. There was
theater still in federal prison, or no?
That one didn't. I heard some did. We had a north yard, a south yard. You can choose which one you want to go to.
Seriously?
The north yard had the chapel, the laundromats, the room where you could get emails, the barber shop, and handball courts. But if you went to the south yard, you had the yard, I mean, what's it called? The running track?
Mm-hmm.
You had a whole field like this where people play soccer. You had basketball courts, you had the gym, you had the weight pile. You had classrooms where you can like join elective classes. You know, I mean, it didn't feel like prison.
Almost like a college campus, huh?
Yeah, it's more like a college campus, you know. And yeah, that was a trip, man. That was a trip. Do you see him?
No. Oh yeah, he's down there to swing.
All right. So it became its own little society. But you did have 1 hour movements. Did you guys have movements? You guys
Yeah,
know
we
what
had
that?
movements.
Okay. So for those of you that don't know, for us, every hour you had a 5-minute movement. So like I just said, if you're in a chapel and movement ended, you're stuck in a chapel to the next hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next hour, you have 5-hour movement. You can go from the chapel, you can go to your unit, you can go to the barber shop, you can go to the computer room, you can go to the south yard. But as long as wherever you want, and then movement stops, boom, now you're stuck there, you know. So it was a trip, you know. It was a trip, and it's an experience I'll never forget. I'll tell you that, you know. I'll never forget that. And serving God in prison, you know, I think made me who I am today as a Christian, as a pastor, as a brother. You know,
I honestly feel that time helped groom me to be able to be how I am now out here.
Like in what way?
just honestly just being able to walk the 180, just and to have that different type of peace in this time of chaos,
Yeah.
and not to let my mind go where it wants to go, because God always brings it right back.
Do you think people that serve God in prison sometimes have an advantage over Christians out here because accountability was number one in there?
Yeah.
Was it like that for you guys?
Yeah, you couldn't. If you were gonna, well, I can't say that because we would still share with a bunch of other people. But if you were, like, honestly, if we're gonna be with us like that,
Yeah.
you had to truly turn your life around.
Yeah, because you couldn't be fellowshipping and then go and gangbang or go this or that.
Or go to the poker table or something.
Yeah. So accountability became a normal thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, same with me. You know, it was a normal thing to just be accountable.
But it was a different type of accountability. It wasn't like, hey man, what you doing? It's like, hey brother, come on, I know you're better than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Did you ever, who would lead? Did you have a, like, was there a leader of the group, I guess? I don't know how else to say it. And because we had a leader.
Yeah, there was that mainly. Yeah, I could say there was a leader.
Who was that?
His name was I don't know. His name was Jason.
And you don't know where he's at now?
I know he's in somewhere near San Jose, I think.
Okay. So he's the one that would give the studies, or was it preach, or what? Or was it just studying together?
We give studies. We probably just give studies.
Okay.
When we go to the chapel, there would be actual preachers that would come from the streets.
Volunteers?
Volunteers, yeah.
But you guys, like, we would actually have service every day in the yard. It was like 12, 15 of us, and we had a 7-person rotation. Like, mine was a Thursday night, I would give a sermon to these brothers, you know, and then Friday was somebody else. So did you guys ever do anything like that, or no?
Yeah, when in Arizona, we started doing something similar like that, because we'd actually had our own chapel, and there was a time that nobody was coming to preach. So we were pretty much just all rotate.
So you guys started preaching?
So we started preaching. That's the only time that I ever preached was in Arizona prison.
Really? So you did preach?
I did preach.
How many times?
Just once, and then we did some skits. After that, I did a couple skits.
Who made the skits up?
Jason.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Was he older or same age as you?
Same age. Actually, the other day I found all the different skits that we wrote out and
You
everything.
found them?
Yeah. And we made one song together.
A song?
Yeah, and I found my verses and his verses.
A rap song?
Yeah.
No way. I remember getting out and actually missing it in there. The fellowship, not the
fellowship.
prison. Did you experience that when you got out?
Yeah, because this is just a different type of fellowship.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. You know, the same. You know, so, I mean, for the people that are watching, you know, people that are viewing, what would you want to say to them? Let's say first to the non-believer, and they're just checking this channel out. Maybe they've seen some of the sermons, some of the Bible studies, and they don't know if God could really change a life. What would you say to that person?
He could change any life. I truly in my life I'm experiencing the impossible right now, what I thought would never be possible in my life. By having a home, my family, and everything that I had from where I came from to where I'm at now, it's a total 180, and I'm actually living it out.
Yeah.
There's nothing to me that's impossible for him anymore now.
So if somebody told you God can't change me, what would you say?
I would say that's a lie from the devil.
I agree. What would you say to the person they're a believer, and maybe because of the whole COVID and politics, they're feeling discouraged. What would you say to that person?
Just keep your eyes on Christ and remember everything that he said, and it's all written out there. It's all written. There shouldn't be nothing that surprises us because he's warns us about everything.
Yeah. And what's your favorite Bible verse?
My favorite Bible verse? Honestly, I forgot where it's at, but it was that one that you showed me about how he's going to use the foolish people.
Oh, yeah. I'm bad with remembering exactly where it's at, but it says that God will use the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. I believe it's in 1 Corinthians.
I love Corinthians. 1 Corinthians is one of my favorite books, the love chapter. And our little group that we used to be GMB, called Grown Man Business, because you had to be a grown man to follow Christ.
That's right. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things.
And that was our verse.
Yeah. Was it chapter 13?
Those are my two favorite verses.
Yeah. I think the last thing I want to talk about is you just got over COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, God, we had a lot of people at the church that we were taking sopa to. We were taking medicine to. Remember that night I did a video with Sharon and we were out in the midnight in the middle of nowhere? That's when we took you some medicine.
I'm way out in the country too.
So it was a good 2-hour drive for us, I believe. Maybe a little more, but about a 2-hour drive. Did you see that video after we dropped that off to you? It was at a gas station.
Yeah.
That was at that, not Flying J. What's the other gas?
Pilot?
Yeah, at the Pilot off the freeway.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where it's at?
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere? That's where we were at. So, you've seen where that car went?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see how it's a dead end?
Dead end.
Yeah, so, but yeah, man, this is Danny, who, and Margaret, they're the ones that had COVID, and we took medicine to them, and it got pretty rough for you guys. And what was the worst thing about it?
The body aches.
The body aches, right, man? Yeah, that hurts.
Like every single joint was hurting. I had muscles I didn't even know I had hurt.
Yeah, for me, I was like, is it my bones that hurt or my muscles? Like, it was weird. I've never been that sick in my life, man. And I don't get sick. I don't get sick that easy. If I do get sick, I get over it right away. This one, really, knocked me, and I'm just like, Lord, Lord, you got to help me, you know what I mean? I just crying out to the Lord, and thank God that we're here because so many didn't make it.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's about it. I just wanted to introduce you to one of the brothers at the church, Brother Danny, and I know a lot of times you can't make it on Sundays, and it's understandable, man. It's like a 2-hour drive, or how far is it?
It's about 2 hours. Depends on the traffic with the construction.
Yeah, so him and his family, they drive 2 hours to come to church on Sundays. That's unheard of. I mean, that's unheard of for us, and I trip out. I trip out on that, and we appreciate you and Margaret, and the fact that you. Obviously, you're getting something out of it if you're driving 2 hours each way. So just to come to service, that's a 4-hour on the road thing, man, and that humbles us. I know I'm speaking for Sharon too. That humbles us. So.
Honestly, now I really enjoy it. I enjoy the drive there because we put the music on and worshiping all the way out over there. I enjoyed the drive back is okay.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Maybe I'll get Danny another time, but like I said, we're just chilling here. The women are at the church.
Eating cake.
They better save us some because, man, we just had some fish and chips, and every time I eat seafood, I
want some sweet.
Some sweet, huh? Yeah. So, all right, guys. See you later.
Bye, guys.